here.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite general who will always be royalty to me's favorite nerd. And today we are looking at the Star Wars Black Series Last Jedi Wave 2 General Leia Organa and Officer or First Order Officer Finn, which I'm guessing is a bit of a toiler. Shout out to Toy Detox. I think they created that name as far as I know. We're going to talk about both of these. You know I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Let's get going. And we'll start with Finn. He comes with two weapons. His traitor baton, so to speak, and these do rotate, so you can have them in the collapsed position or in the outward position. Nice silver paint on there, black paint, red paint. They really decked this one out. And then we have this pistol with just a little bit of silver paint there. He can hold both of those, as you saw, and the pistol can be holstered like so. Uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. I try not to say like so. He also has a hat. A hat. The eyes are a little wonky on this fella. I'm sure individual results will vary, but they're a little off. The face sculpt is good enough. They're still not using the digital paint yet. I know Hasbro said we'll see that on Star Wars stuff next year. It's just that Marvel Legends has really kind of whet my appetite for Star Wars figures with that same attention to detail. The hat is nice enough. We have some black glossy paint here, and then the symbol is tampoed on. Fits on his head just fine. And then his hair is painted, eyes and eyebrows are painted, lips are painted. The head is on a ball hinge. You get up to there, down to there, the swivel, and that's about it. For the chest, it's on a ball joint. Mine is really tight. There it is. It just broke free. So just be cautious if you run into the same issues. Really great range on that ball peg, though, so that's nice. And then we have all sorts of sculpt work done in the suit that looks good, and then some accent pieces painted on the chest there. Back is just sculpt work. The arms are on ball disc hinges, get you out to there, all the way around. Elbows are on a hinge, basically. So 90 degrees there. And that's where you get the bicep swivel as well. Wrists are on swivels, and this one hinges in out, and this one hinges in out as well. The belt is connected to the lower flaps here. That's all afloat. Well, it's glued on, it seems, but it's all one piece, and then the holster is attached to that. We do have some nice silver paint there, decent sculpt work throughout. All the wrinkles and stuff look great. Then we have the pants that are sculpted very well. It's just solid gray plastic, and then we have a glossy black for the boots, which does look good. The hips are on T-jointed ball joints, fairly limited, out to there, forward and back to there. You do have a thigh swivel at a cut joint, which isn't the prettiest because of the sculpt of the pants, but it is there. Double jointed knee, which is very ugly, but it is there. And then the ankles, you get a tilt up, a tilt down, and a rocker. So articulation is effective, if not the cleanest, and the sculpt is well, and all the paint accents are done well. The only thing that's kind of lacking significantly these days is the you know, that paint. Oh, real quick, I wanted to touch on this. He has this armband here. Nice sharp paintwork on the armband to include like some of the basic writing there on the sleeve. So that looks good as well. Then we have General Leia Organa, my third daughter's namesake. And her pistol just has a couple silver accents. It looks like her old school A New Hope pistol, which is pretty cool. You know, if it's not the same pistol, it's at least kind of in the same vein, which is nice to see. No holster, so she has to hold it. She does have two holding hands. She does have a ring on this finger as well. I wonder if we're going to get some explanation as to that. Probably not. I mean, you don't need an explanation for everything, but I think I'm just so excited about this movie. So, you know, you have to have her holding it like this if you want to utilize both hands. You know that pisses me off that we have two hands that hold things and only one accessory, when I would rather have a opposing hand or have a couple options of things to do with hands. There were a few people that got upset with me with the Kylo Ren video saying it's two hands to hold the saber with two hands, you idiot. And that's fine. But what about if you don't want him to hold it with two hands? Am I right? Anyway, decent enough paint on this. This head sculpt is really well done. is you can see beyond the paint. The paint is done well on this one as opposed to Finn's. It's done clean. It's just that this looks antiquated to me now. I just can't get into this after seeing what they did with the Legends. I much prefer that approach. Hair is sculpted and painted well. A little bit missed right there, but not a big deal. And then all the stuff on the face is sculpted and painted well. We do have not the prettiest cut joint here. I'm not sure why they didn't do it at the belt, but it is there. And you pretty much just get the swivel out of it. Now, you don't need her to be a very dynamic posed character, but still, it would have been nice. We have this piece, which is a piece that just sits over top. The arms are on disc hinges, as we should come to expect. Get you out to 90 degrees all the way around. Nice sculpted detail in the wrinkles on the sleeves. Looks really good. Hinged elbow, single hinge, which gets you 90 degrees, and the bicep swivel. And then the wrists are on swivels and hinge and out. And this one hinges up down, which is nice that they gave you that different option there. Oh, the suit is sculpted well enough. It's like a jumpsuit. Sculpted well enough, and then the belt is sculpted and painted. Ooh, look at that articulation on a Black Series figure. Almost the full Van Damme. She's a little old, a little long in the tooth to be hitting the old Van Damme in this representation of her, but, it's all good. And then the foot, the leg can get up to there. Now, pants are sculpted well enough. They're connected to the jumpsuit, obviously. We do have a thigh swivel. We do have a double jointed knee, which does look pretty good. And then we have the boots, which is actually, it's like the gift and the curse of this figure. So it's probably the best looking. Like, we have different shades of brown for different textures. Like, we have a glossy brown and then a flat brown. So we have a couple paint accents. Then we have the silver buckle. That's all done well. The wrinkles in the boots look great. It's on a wedge, which is kind of cool. We don't see many wedge shoe figures. So it's just something that struck me as unique. The problem is the shape of them makes her very challenging to stand. It's very challenging to get her balanced on these little wedges, but it's not impossible. I have done it. I had her upstairs. Come on. There. So it's not impossible. It's just not easy. Like getting a girl's phone number in middle school. Well, not me. I didn't have that. I did have that problem. And just because we never got to see what they would have looked like reunited in the films, I don't know. I don't know. I had the strong urge to do this. It is interesting. I don't like. I have mixed feelings on it. Like, there's part of me that feels good, and then there's because of her passing and the fact that we'll never see it, and Han's fictional death and stuff. Like, there's an element of that bums me out too. But that's C-3PO there. If you didn't recognize him on account of the red arm. Final thoughts wise, they're both done fairly well. There's the same paint issues on the face that I think I'm just over it now that I know that they can do better. It's like they're their own worst enemy in this. If they didn't let me know they could do better, I probably wouldn't think about it. But now that I know they can do better, all I can see is the weakness in how they're doing it at the moment. But I'm going to try to be patient. I'm going to try to not be a whiny fanboy and just wait for them to give me the figures with the nice face paint in 2018. But I think the Leia's really well done. Like, she's extremely well sculpted. She's a pain to stand, but aside from that, I love her gun. I love the sculpt. I will say there is a wrinkle in the front of her pants that is a little, I don't know, they might need to relax. In terms of Finn, I think he's really well done. I'm going to have him with his hat real low, and I'm just going to use him as a first order officer on my first order shelf. So I think that makes sense to get him. I'm not the guy that really needs all the different variants of the characters like Hoth, Luke, and I think there's a 3 3/4 coming out of Luke with wet hair. True story. So I'm not the guy that needs all those variations, but if I can think of a reason to have a figure displayed on a different shelf or for a different purpose, I think that's awesome, because then you get the experience of a new figure and you get to kind of utilize them somewhere else and kind of decorate your shelves a bit more. So I recommend them both. I think they're both done fairly well. The weaknesses are the same, and the weaknesses are something that will go away. So I'm anxious to see where they go. I'd like to see a few more articulation points put in, especially at the biceps and elbows in the future, but I think overall they're well done. My only other criticism of Leia is they probably should have put that joint in at the belt to kind of hide it a bit better. It is a little unsightly, but I think on a shelf, other figures, it won't bother you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.